Hello and welcome back to the Air Armoury. I'm JRH and today is an extra video in which I'm going to show you and briefly talk about my current airgun collection. Now, a lot of people often ask me about my collection, both in terms of size and content, and in an FAQ video a few weeks ago I revealed that my collection is actually a lot smaller than people think it's going to be. At the time of making this video I only have 6 guns, 2 pistols and 4 rifles. Now, I've previously owned dozens of guns which I no longer have. All of those I did however make videos on. Some of those have been uploaded already and some of them are in a backlog ready to be uploaded. Whilst there are types of air guns that I have a specific interest in, such as military training air rifles, at this point I just don't have the money or the space to maintain a large collection of guns. So my collection is constantly changing, with just a handful of favourites that I keep permanently. Also, with the possibility of further airgun restrictions in England on the horizon, I did recently sell off a number of guns whilst I was still able to get their full market value for them. So what I thought I'd do in this video is show you the guns I own and talk a bit about them, not in terms of the specific models but more in terms of the actual guns that I own. Things like how long I've had them, where did I get them from, and why have I kept hold of those whilst I've parted ways with so many others. Starting with pistols, I'm not as interested in pistols as rifles, so I've never had many. In fact, I think the 2 that I currently own are pretty much the only 2 I've ever owned. So firstly, as you can see here, I have a Webley Senior. This is one of the later slant grip models and is in 177 caliber, with this particular one dated to around 1939. Now, I bought this gun from a well-known Kent-based firearms dealer in early 2013, which means of my current collection this is the gun I've owned the longest. I bought it because when I first saw the Webley Senior I absolutely loved the shape and style and I just had to get one. It's in mostly original condition, although I have changed the mainspring, breech seal and trigger spring, plus as you can see I've also put my own custom grips on it, although I do still have all of the original parts I've replaced. My other pistol is a late 70s Italian-made Gun Toys RO72, although it's better known in the UK as the Panther Deluxe. And like my Webley pistol, this one is also in 177, and I also acquired this pistol in 2013. I traded it with my dad for my BSA Mark IV Meteor Super, which had previously belonged to my grandpa, so my dad's dad. My dad needed the rifle rather than the pistol to get rid of some grey squirrels, and I wanted this gun for 2 reasons. Firstly, because of sentimental value. This is the first air gun I ever shot and remember using it in the garden with my dad when I was younger. And secondly, because it was imported by and purchased from the Sussex Armoury, which I have a particular interest in. Moving on to rifles, first I have my Remington Express in 177. I bought this in 2014 from my local gun shop after reading a review of it in an airgun magazine, and it's the only gun in my current collection that I've owned from new. It's also the only gun I own that's been manufactured within my lifetime. Now, I'm not a massive fan of new guns. I much prefer the history, design and build quality of older guns, but I do like to have one modern, accurate, full power rifle which I can use for things like pellet testing and pest control, and for me that role is filled nicely by the Remington Express. Next I have a Webley Mark II service air rifle. I'd wanted one of these for a little while before I took the plunge and got this one in 2017, and I got it from a second-hand gun shop where I part exchanged my Hatsan 80-4410 towards it. This one was made around 1938 and is still in pretty good condition for its age. This one's in 2.2 and has the original barrel which is serialised to the gun, but of course you could have interchangeable barrels so you can swap calibers. It's a British classic design, it's just a fantastic gun, so my collection, however small it currently is, wouldn't be complete without one. Moving on, I have a Sheridan Silver Streak. I bought this 1982 example at auction in 2017. Now, in terms of airgun mechanisms, I generally favour guns which don't need an external power source, such as a scuba tank or CO2 capsules. Now, whilst in the UK that generally means spring guns, I do quite like the multi-pump pneumatics, which are big in America. Of those, my favourite is the Sheridan. I like the 2.0 caliber and the optional extra Williams rear sight unit for the C series, which my rifle does have here. And lastly, I have an Anschutz made Hakim training air rifle. Around 2,800 of these were made under contract to the Egyptian military in 1955 as a training version of the Hakim semi-automatic service rifle. I bought this rifle from a private collector with a substantial number of guns in 2016, and this rifle was one of 6 of them that he had bought when they first appeared on the surplus market in the early 90s. Now, I have a particular interest in military training air rifles, and I've owned a few over the years, but for a number of reasons they aren't the most practical guns for everyday shooting. So when I was downsizing my collection recently, I decided that I couldn't really justify keeping a load of guns that I wasn't using regularly. So of my military trainers, I decided to just keep the Anschutz Hakim. The main reason for keeping this one over the others is calibre. Now, a lot of military training air rifles are in slightly more unusual calibers, most often 4.4mm lead balls, but the Anschütz is in 2.2 and takes regular pellets, so I shoot it a lot more because I can easily and cheaply get ammunition for it. So there you've seen the guns in my current airgun collection and got a bit of insight into why I have those guns. Now, I hope you found the video interesting. If so, be sure to like, comment and subscribe to the Air Armoury, and until next time, keep your arms in the air.